Buffalo Hall. We got Michael Robinson.
What's happening? Wake up. Let's go, man. Let's go.
And Mike Garofalo.
You made fun of how I said too legit, too quick.
That was hilarious.
I was trying to emphasize the two and the two
Too many
to explain.
syllables, man.
I know how it goes.
We hanging.
It's too legit, too quit, like that, right? Did we pay for that too, control room?
Hold on.
I think we did.
Can we get a single of you just
Yeah, we do that right here. Too legit, too quit. Like,
There's going to be a whole lot of that coming up your way today, but make sure you hang out with us all day long on Twitter. #GMFB. Send your complaints to @Mike Garofalo.
Yes,
Everything
please.
else.
You always do.
Us. All right, let's start with the best in the NFL. Through 4 weeks, only 3 undefeated teams are left. The Niners, the only NFC team without a loss. They're coming off the bye, hosting the Browns on Monday night. Then the Chiefs, 4-0 for the 3rd straight season. That's just what they do now.
That's
in
what
Kansas
they do.
City, playing the Colts on Sunday night. And, of course, the Patriots, 4-0, taking their insane plus
They should have lost last week to Buffalo. You know that, right? Yeah, you know they should have lost.
You were right. Don't
You know they should have
remind
lost
us.
to Buffalo,
You were right.
I don't even want to talk about game picks,
Okay, I ain't
but we
gonna
will later. Okay, so no better place to start our walkthrough is with the defending champs. They haven't allowed a passing touchdown since last season's AFC Championship game. Here's to you, Colt McCoy. Good luck. It's official. He'll be the Redskins starter. So, Mike Rob, how do the Redskins have a chance to win?
I don't know if they even got a chance to win tomorrow, guys. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, this might be the best Patriots defense that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady has ever had, and especially in the secondary. I mean, you got Devin McCourty last week, 5 tackles and an interception. I mean, J.C. Jackson, a very versatile big corner who can go inside. He can play outside. He blocked a punt last week. They can match up with any team in the National Football League, and it seems like Bill Belichick is just waiting, and he's preparing to play Kansas City later on. I don't see how the Washington Redskins have a chance, guys. Jordan Reed and Vernon Davis out.
Ooh, all right. That's rough. So it could be a rough one for Colt McCoy, but what about the actual Colts? An AFC divisional round rematch between Indy and Kansas City. Okay. Kansas City there. Remember when the Colts won 10 of 11 going into Kansas City in January?
Yeah.
Well, here's a refresher. The Colts didn't have a first down until just before the half.
who quarterback that day?
So what you saying?
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't great. So D-Hall, will this time be a little different for Frank Reich's crew?
I don't know. It'll be a little bit different for Frank Reich's crew. It'll be a little different for Pat Mahomes. I think he comes out and he dominates this matchup when you talk about the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Colts in this game. Just the things Pat Mahomes is able to do right now. He's getting more comfortable in his offense. Obviously, last week he didn't have a passing touchdown, and so I look for Andy Reid to assert Pat Mahomes early in this game. We know the Colts love to play zone defenses, and Pat Mahomes, you got another year under your belt. I think he dices and slices this defense.
You think so?
I do.
What about this guy, Carson Wentz? Will he do that? He has the Eagles right now. Maybe they turn their season around with that dramatic win over Aaron Rodgers
last
and the
week.
Packers.
They had to have that one.
So tomorrow they have Luke Falk and the Jets, with Sam Darnold still out with mono. And just throwing this out there, the Jets have never beat the Eagles, like ever. Jesus.
Yeah, that does nothing for me because it's really only about. I mean, they haven't played in 4 years. Everybody wanted to talk about that on all our shows. And I'm like, what? I'm like Belichick. I don't care what happened in 1973. I care what's happening in 2019, and that is Luke Falk starting for the Jets tomorrow. I was at the Jets facility the other day, and I was telling somebody either this is the greatest smokescreen of all time, or they really think that Sam Darnold is going to start this game. They really thought Sam Darnold was going to be able to start this game as late as practice on Thursday. They had him get the test Thursday night instead of Friday, which he was originally supposed to do. It came back and revealed he's just not ready yet because he doesn't want to, quote, die on the field.
I feel like that's a good reason.
Yeah,
Really
that's a really
important
good
thing to take into consideration going into a game.
Didn't expect that.
So, Luke Falk, I'll have more tomorrow on Game Day Morning to explain just how much they really thought Sam Darnold was going to play this game. Vaya con Dios, Luke Falk.
Yeah, that's something you don't really want to test the waters with.
No, you don't.
No. Okay, we got the Vikings and the Giants, 2 quarterbacks getting attention for very different reasons. So you have Kirk Cousins, who publicly apologized on his podcast to Adam Thielen after that awful game
I don't know
in Chicago.
why, but whatever.
Well, the Giants fans have Daniel Jones. They're treating him like a savior, performing miracles out on the field. So, Mike Rob, how does Jones do in this particular matchup?
Yeah, he's a superstar, right? He's a franchise quarterback, but he's gonna have to continue to learn learn how to deal with the blitz. Defenses are testing his football IQ, and if you know anything about a Mike Zimmer's defense, they're going to send some pressure after you, especially on third down with that double-A gap pressure. Daniel Jones is the highest pressured quarterback in the National Football League at pressured at 43.4%. He's better learn how to deal with it, especially dealing with this Minnesota Vikings defense.
And finally, we have Green Bay and Dallas both coming off their first loss of the year. And then the Cowboys offense, they were completely shut down against the Saints. While Aaron Rodgers, he threw a pick at the goal line to end the Packers' chances against the Eagles last Thursday night. You know who never has thrown an interception to lose a game?
What's that?
Jane Slater. She joins us live from Frisco. And Jane, okay, what's the Cowboys' mindset heading into tomorrow's game?
Well, you know, I caught up with the OC, Kellen Moore, the 31-year-old first-year coach here in Dallas at that position. And I asked Kellen Moore, I said, did you learn anything from that Saints loss? And his response was, we learned we're not going 16-0. In other words, he was laughing with us. He answered all of our questions. He broke it down like this. He said, you can't let one game cost you the next. You can't get stuck in a rut. And Ezekiel Elliott and Jason Witten acknowledged that other teams may use what the Saints did as a blueprint to stop them. But the question is, can Green Bay follow that blueprint? And the answer is, if you look at their last 3 games, they've given up more rushing yards than any other team in the league. Opponents are averaging about 5 yards a carry. So if this is the week the Cowboys are looking to bounce back, capitalize, continue with that run game, this would be it. They're also getting their wide receiver, Michael Gallup, back. That is huge for them. He works on both the outside and the inside, while the Packers are without their star receiver, Davante Adams.
Yeah, and we saw how much that hurt them, especially against the Eagles on that final drive when they were trying to make the comeback. Without Davante Adams, that offense completely different. Jane, thank you. We'll talk to you in a little bit. So this will be the 4th meeting between Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott. And while Rodgers leads and wins, both guys put up big numbers, 30 points per game, really good touchdown to interception ratio, and passer ratings over 100. So let's get into this game. Which quarterback has the better performance? You have Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, Mike Robb. Who you got?
Well, just to simply answer that question, I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers because I think Dak is going to be going up against a very formidable secondary with the Green Bay Packers. Jair Alexander, all of those guys playing at a very high level. And for Aaron Rodgers to do that, he's going to have those other guys step up. And I think guys like Jimmy Graham has to be a key figure for him. You can see him being highlighted on when you look at the tape, right? Matt LaFleur, Aaron Rodgers, they're trying to get him the football. But when you have a guy like Davante Adams out there and you put them both on the same side, oftentimes you get a lot of attention over there, right? I think if Jimmy Graham can open up, put him on the backside of a 3-by-1, get him the football, make him the guy that dictates coverage. If you do that, I'm telling you, Aaron Rodgers will have success against this Dallas Cowboys secondary.
How do you think he'll match up, though, against those guys, Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch? Their linebackers are really good.
Yeah, but Jimmy Graham is like 9 feet tall, right? He can run, like really run.
I heard he's played basketball.
Yeah, exactly. So I really think they'll have some advantages. Again, just have them screaming down that seam. And if they can have wide receivers like Valdez Scantling, did I say that right? Did I mess up? Yeah,
no,
Valdez Scantling. I said it right.
Scantling.
Yes. I was nervous about that, Jeezy. If they can have guys like that on the outside, screaming down the outside, I'm telling you, they will have some success.
How about running the ball? Aaron Jones, we saw last week against the Eagles on that 4th down, it took them down to the goal line, and they turned the ball over on downs because 4 straight times they tried to pass the ball. And Aaron Jones, they have a running back who we've seen the flashes from him. He's a talented guy, and they need to use him, but they just don't, it seems like.
Yeah, they don't. This offense is predicated on running the football. If they want Aaron Rodgers to be successful, they have to get Aaron Jones going.
You talk about running the football. To me, that's Dallas's blueprint. Yeah. And I'm picking Dak Prescott in this matchup. If you see him, you look at the numbers through the course of this season right now, this isn't the Aaron Rodgers of old. They still trying to figure it out offensively. And so for me, this Dallas Cowboys offense, if they can run the football and Dak can take his shots, you heard Jane mention Michael Gallup's back. He is a big part of what they do. I'm loving Randall Cobb out there. I got Dak Prescott.
53 rushing yards last week for Ezekiel Elliott.
Now, they need to get back on track running the football. They do. They need to get back on track running the football. But this Green Bay defense, we know they can rush the passer. You don't want to sit back and drop back. We don't know if they can stop the run. I think
they haven't been able to.
Philly showed us that.
It was 53 for Dallas. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
176 for the Eagles against this Green Bay defense. And it really wasn't anything overly exotic. They were just moving people out of the way. And right now with their personnel packages, they got a lot of DBs on the field, which is great, D'Angelo, if you're a DB and you want to get something playing time. But it's not great when you get past that first line of defense.
Yep.
And they've got Blake Martinez, their linebacker back there, who's got 47 tackles in 4 games. He's patrolling that second level. He's going to have a monster game if they're going to be able to stop this Cowboys rushing attack and have a little bit of better performance in their run defense than they had against the Eagles.
Green Bay's defense is allowing 5.5 yards per carry, basically. I mean, that is a ton. We saw Dalvin Cook rush on them for 154 rushing yards. Obviously, the Eagles running backs, they were over 70 rushing yards each. We saw Phillip Lindsay and Royce Freeman, they combined for 144. So, yeah, the Packers' run defense, they just haven't shown that they've been able to do it. And Ezekiel Elliott, I mean, he might have fresh legs.
Yeah, I think he does have fresh legs. And, again, it starts from the inside out. Those defensive tackles from Green Bay going up against Zach Martin, Travis Fredericks, from the interior of the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. That's where the game is going to be won or lost.
That's true, but also you guys know what month it is, right?
What's
Reggie
that?
Jackson, he might be Mr. October, but Aaron Rodgers, he could be the football version, possibly.
Is that for real?
Look at his career numbers there. 28 and 11 in October, over 280 passing yards a game. And what do you think about this? 87 touchdowns to just 20 picks? I think that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, he wants the entire season in October.
I know, it's
I
true.
can see that.
This is his month. We'll see if that trend continues. How about this one? Dangerous is rolling right now. What does this all mean for the Seahawks? He looked